Hello everyone, Matt Chapman here. Welcome to the Racing Breaks and Sports for Causes York preview in company, or I should say probably in the company of the multiple British champion jockey, Mr. Oisín Murphy. Hello Ush, welcome to this terrific York preview.
Morning, Matt. Yeah, York is always an exciting week, and I'm really looking forward to my book of rides. We'll obviously run through them over the course of the next half an hour, but I hope the weather is going to be really kind to us up there, and the terrific atmosphere we've learned to expect is going to be in its usual rock and roll style.
Yeah, first things first. Remember, Sports for Causes is all about giving you the experience of being an owner on a racetrack. So, for instance, this week, if you wanted to go to Goodwood at the weekend, there are plenty of tickets available. And what it is you basically buy the experience at a discounted price, and a high percentage of the money you pay goes to racing welfare and racing charities. So basically, it's a win-win. The concept is that you enjoy your day out wherever you go, and in the future, hopefully, you might therefore become an owner, for instance. And that might not be buying a racehorse all on your own. It might be just having one little share in a racehorse. So to give you that experience of going to the races as an owner, you see what it's like for effectively a token fee, and most of that fee going to sporting horse racing charities. So that's the idea of Sports for Causes. I want to talk to you about York though, Oisín, because York is one of those 4-day fixtures that whoever you speak to, I think in the racing world, I've never come across anyone who says, "Oh no, it's the Juddmonte International meeting." Everyone loves it. You've won the Juddmonte International on a horse called Roaring Lion, and I would say, arguably, because of the connections of that horse, one of the biggest wins of your career.
Yeah, it was, I think, Matt, probably even in front of the Breeders' Cup Distaff and the Japan Cup. It meant the world to me. It was a high-class field that day. Ben Battle, Without Parole, Poet's Word. I don't want to leave any of them out. Thundering Blue. And he was truly sensational. He was a push-button ride, and it was great to get the job done in such fashion. I suppose I was very lucky so far this year, Matt, to have a great Royal Ascot and a very good, glorious Goodwood. And I'm mindful of the fact that York, particularly on the first few days, might be a little bit tough for me this year. But as the week progresses, I've got better rides that we'll speak about. And hopefully I won't have to wait too long to get on the score sheet.
And actually, one of the great things talking about a champion like you is the track is quite interesting, because usually on a left-handed track, you would expect the horses to swing round the bend and stay glued to the far side rail. But often at York, the runners come down the middle. Sometimes they even come to near side, just with a pretty reasonable forecast for the rest of the week. How would you anticipate that round track riding? And in the back of your mind, where do you like to go on it?
I prefer if they race up the middle, Matt. Obviously, if I'm making the running and there's been a bias towards the far side, I like to stay on the rail. And actually, this year at York, there has been a little bit of a bias towards the far side, and tracks can play like that sometimes. I hope there's no headwind. York is a track that I like to ride completely off instinct, and that's normally in sort of a prominent position and just go from there. And you know, I'm hoping if there isn't a tailwind, that there's very little wind each day, and it makes the racing there quite fair.
You always come across as a sort of pretty chill person. Like, a bomb could go off behind you right now, and you probably just look at the declarations for 48 hours. But let's hope that doesn't happen instantly. But when you go down to post in the Juddmonte International on See the Fire, is there a little tickle in the stomach? Is there a little feeling that this is a big moment, or are you so used to it now that it's just another race?
It's a mix. Sometimes it can just be another race, but if I was riding, the favorite in one of those big races, certainly uh, there's self-expectation that I give the horse the right ride to perform to the best of its ability. And obviously that doesn't always happen, even with my best intentions. Um, I'd imagine the Juddmonte International this year will probably end up being the world's highest rated race. There are 4 stars in there. Obviously, my man, See the Fire, but the Colts, Ombudsman, Delacroix, and Danon Desailly. I mean, if Danon Desailly wins, he's probably going to be the highest rated turf horse in the world, and I do fancy his chances. We obviously spoke last night about it at Windsor that maybe he wants, an extra 2 furlongs. But if it turns into a real speed test, who's the fastest horse in the race? And that's probably Delacroix. And I'm sure Godolphin are mindful of that Burcastle will set an even tempo. Ombudsman is no doubt the strongest stayer. The reason he won the Prince of Wales is because it was a pace collapse. The finishing speed percentage was only 100%, whereas normally those sort of races would be like ranging between 105 and 108%. And if there's no wind in the Juddmonte International because the quality of horse, I'd expect the finishing speed percentage to be around about average, somewhere between 105 and 108. Anyway, without going into too much detail, it's an incredible race and it's fitting that this field is so strong.
Weight for age and sex allowance is a funny old thing. You get £3 from the likes of Ombudsman and Dan Underseal, this Japanese champ who beat Calandigan, of course, in the Shima Classic. But you actually have to give £4 to Delacroix, the Eclipse winner, because he's a 3-year-old. This has not been an easy race for female horses. See the Fire, of course, brings in the history because her mum, Arabian Queen, was the last female horse to win it. But you have to go back quite a long way to find female winners. Dahlia back in the day did it, but also the mighty Triptych. Is it very hard for the female horses against the boys in a race like this?
Yeah, it's not easy. It really isn't. I suspect the reason that that fillies haven't won the race is because of the quality of it. I haven't won the race in recent years. Arabian Queen took down the mighty Golden Horn. It was an inspired ride by Sylvester de Souza, but maybe Golden Horn was just having an off day along with Sylvester's great ride. It's a race that I'm glad to be riding in, Matt, and I'll be probably midfield or even further back. There's only 6 runners, but I won't be front rank. And she's got a terrific record, York. I think she's unbeaten there. And I'd be very hopeful she can run a career best. Whether that's going to be good enough, we'll have to find out.
And finally, as I think people watching this will be just interested in your views on Delacroix, but because at Sandown we have to remember that although it was an extraordinary performance, it wasn't what Ryan Moore intended to happen. This time we've got a pacemaker. Delacroix ran in the Derby. We've got the background that Ryan has said that the horse has got the speed for a mile. He goes a mile and a quarter again, but he was one of the big fancies for the Derby over a mile and a half. You would think he'd go back to riding a City of Troy like race that they won it with last year. Wouldn't you just sit second or third to the pacemaker and kick on? Because I mean, what do you think? I mean, there's no one doubting Delacroix' stamina, really, is there?
I actually think Ryan, depending on tempo, might take his time and ride him with a few to aim at. Unless there's a mad tailwind, I could see Ryan riding a waiting race for that turn of foot that he showed in the Eclipse. Look, he shouldn't have been able to win the Eclipse. You don't get stopped going up that mountain at Sandown with a furlong and a half to go, fastest part of the race, and get going again and win. In any sort of race, not to mind running down the likes of Ombudsman. It was so messy, and I thought he deserves an awful lot of credit for that victory. He's definitely a faster horse than Ombudsman. Like if they were to start at the 2 furlong pole in the same position, off an even tempo, then Delacroix is the faster animal.
Okay. And just on day one, because we've got the decks and we know what's going on, just a quick word. Lambourne, does he just go and win the Great Voltigeur? He's drifting in the betting all the time. He was about 4 to 6, 4 to 7. He's now only a shade of odds on, but is he just unappreciated? Like he was good in the Derby. He wasn't quite so good in the Irish Derby, but at the end of the day, he's going to be hard to pass, isn't he?
For me, he was even better in the Irish Derby because he had respect and the field lay up with him and he was pressured the whole way. Whereas in at Epsom, he wasn't pressured and people could say, "Oh, Wayne had a freebie on him," and a couple of the fancied horses knocked each other over. Whereas that didn't happen at the Curragh. Matt, I think he's certainty. I think he just wins. I can't see anything in the race. Maybe one of Aidan's other ones are improving. I don't know, but
Yeah.
he, yeah, he's a top horse, and do you know what? I'd nearly fancy him to run a big race in the Arc as well because he's going to make his own luck. He doesn't mind ground, whatever way it comes. He's uncomplicated, and he keeps going, which is the most important thing.
Yeah, well, if Ramo ends up on Whirl or Mini Hawk in the Arc, Oisin Murphy for Lambourne wouldn't be the worst option of all time. And a quick word on the Acomb. You ride May Angel for your new retainer of Imed Al Cigar. One of the reasons, of course, why I can't get you, even though you're my most important player in my racing league team, because you now have 146 retainers. But most people, this is going to be between Distant Storm and Italy. I'm an Italy man. The funny thing about this is that Godolphin have a line through Italy because they were second to Italy, and Aiden has a line on Distant Storm because he was second to Distant Storm, and they come in together here, and it doesn't really help you that they've got a line on each horse because they both run together. But I'm Italy. What May Angel? Could you spring an upset?
He's a lovely horse, but whether he knows enough, Matt, he had one run on turf. He finished last. He was too babyish. He beat nothing at Suddle, but he did it in a nice way. He is a dark angel, probably doesn't want the ground super fast. He's an unknown quantity, big physical, definitely has a future. Distance Storm, I thought in the paddock, had furnishing to do. He looked quite light. He had a breeze of preparation. He broke the clock in France. Very good horse. Was the form of his Newmarket victories the strongest maiden ran since maybe Frankel beat Nathaniel, or even the Tent came out and won. Um, I think, very exciting horse. If you ask me, can I ride anything in the race? I pick Distance Storm. I love the stallion. If he has done well physically and they've given him a nice time frame, to let down and fill out a bit over the last few weeks since Newmarket, if he's done that well, then I think he's a very good horse. Now, the only concern is Ruling Cork got beaten the Acomb, and he went on to win the Guineas. And I think next year he's going to be a formidable force. So maybe I'm a bit too confident that the Godolphin horse is going to act to the best of his abilities, but I suspect he will.
Yeah. For those interested, incidentally, Oisín sits out the staying handicap at 410 that's on the telly tomorrow.
Not on purpose.
No, no, no,
No
not on
one, no
purpose.
one wanted me.
Well, that probably isn't true either. But Alphonse Legrand, I think, is an absolute good thing in that, and
I
he's around.
wanted to ride him.
Did
Tony
you?
Martin, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
There's
yeah.
some very iffy stayers in that race, and he is going to stay all day. And he didn't run bad at Royal Ascot after only one previous pipe opener. And while Tony Martin favourites tend not to do as well as Tony Martin gambles, I'm all over him. So let's see what happens in that race. That's the 410 at York on Wednesday. Right, let's go to Thursday, Ash. Obviously, another big day, another Group 1 day. The Yorkshire Oaks is a race you actually haven't won yet, I think I'm right in saying. Have you won the Yorkshire Oaks?
No, I haven't.
No,
No,
and you're not going to win it this time around.
no,
Four runners. Garden of Eden's going to go off and try and annoy Killing Queen, who is a little danger on her good run in France last.
no. She's not. She's not.
Okay,
No.
okay, she's no danger, but she did do well last time. But she likes to front run, so it's quite clever having Garden of Eden in there. And Mini Hawk presumably is going to attack first, and then Estrange is going to sit and try and pounce last. It's a fascinating tactical battle on paper, Ash. I am guessing you are all over Mini Hawk, though.
Yeah, she wins, Matt. Estrange doesn't want the ground too fast, and it's going to be good or quicker. And yeah, I can't see Mini. If she's healthy, Mini Hawk wins.
Yeah, yeah. It just looks she's going to be long odds on about 1 to 3. I do think it is a really interesting, fascinating tactical race, though, because The one thing that Estrange does is travel, and this is the big test for her. In fact, it was at this week last year because I was on ITV on the Sunday because we
Goodwood,
broadcast from
Goodwood, yeah.
Goodwood,
I was
from
second.
York, and she was at Goodwood that day, and that's the first time we ever saw her. And
Correct.
I remember having almost a fit and going mad, and everyone on social media saying what an idiot I was going overboard about this maiden winner at Goodwood. And
No, no, you were right, but she's
well,
not
once,
Minnie
once a
Hawk's
year.
level. She's not Minnie Hawk's level, I don't think, Mark, really.
Time will tell,
Not
though.
on top of the ground, maybe on soft. I mean, David O'Mara says she wants big in the ground. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
So,
think that is a very good shout by you. The ground, if it was soft, even though Mini Hawk might still win it, it would
mm,
it would certainly make a
help is
strange.
strange. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, let's go to the Nunthorpe on Friday, which is turning into a fascinating renewal because we've got a mixture of kind of a whole splodge of older sprinters who can all sort of win it on their best bit of form. And then the
yeah.
juveniles into the mix. First of all, Oisín, a juvenile. What's other than ability? Let's just say they've got ability. Is the pace of one of these races just completely different to any of these juveniles have experienced before, or judged on timings, it's not? Tell me what the difference is as a jockey.
Pace, Matt, definitely pace, but also the makeup of the race. Like if you are on a 2-year-old in a 2-year-old race, normally, uh, they're comfortable the whole way. They're just far superior. If they're comfortable, able to travel, then things open up for them and things happen. Whereas in the non-top, it'll be fast and furious, bigger, older sprinters getting in each other's way. It's just a completely different type of race. I think Gerlines is right to run Lady Imam. I think she can win. The wait for age is there for a reason, but she goes there with a chance. I like the way at Goodwood she was kind of on speed the whole way. She was in front from a fair bit from home, inside the two, and she stuck it out well on what was horrible ground. I thought Spicy Mark was very good at Goodwood, but she didn't. She beat a pretty weak field. But again, they're right to take their chance. I mean, Emma Banks is having a great season. And it makes the race more interesting, particularly because there isn't a standout older sprinter. How spoiled were we to, and any viewers, you should go back and watch Soul Power winning the Nunthorpe with Husey. I mean, they were just different level horses, and there isn't one of those in the race this year.
One of the questions I get asked a lot is how long does it take to do my hair? It takes about 20 seconds. But Harry Bentley, I mean, is he seen as quite a Swiss jockey in the weighing room? And will he be just getting the sweep over absolutely perfect before he goes out on Spicy Marg?
I'd imagine before he arrives at York, he'll be with the beautician and the stylist, and he'll be fully prepared ever before the public get to cast their eyes upon him.
Yeah. I have a feeling that his missus has been doing some beauty stuff in Hong Kong, and I imagine she spends most of the time doing that on him. Like
Yeah,
he's like a
and
China
she's a
doll.
lawyer,
Yeah.
and she's a lawyer, so it's amazing. When you're in love, what you can get your wife or girlfriend to do.
Yeah. I mean, that's something that I feel we could boost our viewers if we carried on this line of conversation. But I also feel the powers that be that will be listening in the background will shut us down at some stage. So maybe we should just move on. This time last year, you were in the Nunthorpe on Asvora. Bradsell was the winner, proper Group 1 sprinter, believing he was in second, went out to Dubai and won the Group 1. Breeders' Cup winner Starlust was in third. None of those return. Forget the Goodwood run because the ground wasn't right. Did Asfora give you a good enough feel at Royal Ascot when fifth behind American Affair to suggest that the horse could come and win here?
No, but she did give me a good enough feel about 10 days ago. And she's ready. She's ready to go. I wrote her work, Matt, and I was very pleased.
I mean, that's really interesting. So a better feel than she gave you at Royal Ascot when she was still okay. Fifth was okay. She was only beaten a couple of lengths.
She had a rushed preparation, Matt, because she didn't get to England as early as she did the previous year, and it just wasn't perfect. Whereas the preparation for this race has been perfect. Yeah, thank God. And actually, I was worried after Goodwood, she might be a bit jarred up and a bit sore because she wants the ground really fast. She's just so heavy topped, and she obviously didn't get that surface at Goodwood, and sometimes they can feel the effects of that in the days preceding the race, but she didn't, thank God. So, we'll learn tomorrow where she's drawn, but hopefully she'll have speed to aim at, and it won't have any excuses.
And of course, the Ebor is the big betting race of the week. We await
Mm.
with bated breath to see what Oisin Murphy will ride. Willie Mullins has already decided his favourites, though, and a lot of people just look for Willie now. Hip Hop de Loire is going to be a strong favourite for Colin Keane. Ethical Diamond, apparently, although the form is pretty good, works even better at home than produces on the track. So that horse finally produced the best French master, been a good buy from Philippa Cooper for Wathnan. Aiden's got a few in there. Just looking down the list was the one that stood out for you. It's worth pointing out Alphonse Legrand and Dancing in Paris go Wednesday, but it's not impossible that they could get declared again for the Ebor. Is there something in there that if you could jock anyone off right now, you would just say, I want to ride that, Ash?
No, not really, man. Like it's a valuable handicap. I was lucky to win it in 2016. But I'd be much more interested in the Group Ones through the week than the Ebor. Other than the benefit to a jockey's pocket, uh, it's really of no consequence.
And this is the new Oisin Murphy in some ways, isn't it? It's quality over quantity, but because you're in such demand, you get the quantity anyway. Like your champion jockey anyway. You started out this season telling me, indeed, that you weren't going to particularly go all out for it. But it's different now, isn't it? Because you can only ride one meeting. The idea of going all out, which effectively was riding 6 in the afternoon and 6 in the evening, it's
Mm.
kind of gone, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has. I mean, I didn't dream about being champion jockey this year, and then I had a decent May and a decent June, and all of a sudden I'm in front, and then why give up the lead? So, I probably shouldn't have ridden every day last week. And maybe I should have ridden one at Windsor yesterday, but now I want to win the championship. It would be the fifth time if I could get it done. I'm not going to just I don't want to be called lazy and just surrender those opportunities to somebody else. So it's an interesting kind of situation, Matt. I expected Rossa and Tom to be snapping on my heels, and the stables they were riding for weren't flying in the early part of the year, and as a result, they weren't able to ride as many winners as maybe they did last year or they will next year. Um, so that's just the way it is, Matt. It's not fun though. They're relentless. Even without the two meetings, um, just the 6 and 7 rides. You know, it's a complete conflict to when you begin riding because you want to ride in every race, whether the horse has a chance or not. But as you get a bit older, um, you don't want to damage your percentages. Every race you ride in, there's a chance of getting injured or suspended. And then you end up missing good racing. I sat out the Saturday of Glorious Goodwood because I picked up a silly ban at Goodwood, or sorry, at Windsor 2 weeks before in a class 6 or class 5. I shouldn't have been in the race really. And
Actually,
it's
you say that, but isn't it like tennis players during Wimbledon? They've just finished
mm,
the game. The next morning, they're out 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is, 4 hours, 5 hours. Some of them practice, practice,
mm.
practice, practice. Snooker players, every sport with horse racing. Do you kind of have to be out there every day to get that to just keep your eye in?
Sometimes I feel it's an advantage, but other times, if you're on a losing streak, you are less likely to make that to take that risk in a race and trust your instinct than if you were fresh off the back of 2 days, maybe galloping a few horses in the morning. The way that Ryan and James and William at the moment, the way they can go racing, they don't ride any horses they don't want to ride, and they probably feel good. They're able to do a little bit in the gym, get regular physio. They're not wrestling a badly behaved animal at 8 o'clock at Kempton the day before, like I've been doing.
Okay. Well, don't forget about the Racing League as well. You are my senior rider. You're first on my list. You've not turned up for a single meeting so far. There's only one more meeting you could turn up for. I'm currently doing okay without you, but I know I would do better with you. And if you could just get your arse in gear and try and make your way to Southall, you'll probably have to look that racecourse up on the map. But middle of England, you no doubt have access to private jets and helicopters. If you could get your arse in gear and get somewhere near Southall a week on
What
Thursday,
else? What else is on that day?
I can tell you fairly quickly. Talk about something interesting about York while I tell you, while I find out. Hold on.
My best ride of the week for the listeners is the one on Thursday for Andrew in the nursery. I think Stellar Sunrise or Stellar Surprise. He's a Space Blues that won at Goodwood, and I think he's still reasonably handicapped. And I like the horse. He's very
People
hardy.
are bored of it now. Much more importantly in all of that, though, although your best chance of a winner of the week is quite important,
Mm.
but I've got hopeless news. Ken, of all
Well,
the courses that I didn't want there to be a meeting, there is a Newbury on that Thursday, and I know
no,
where.
no, that's not. No, no, that's not the end of the world. We'll see what's in the novices. I would love to be part of your winning.
Remember, Andrew Balding will be supporting us, and he's your big boss. And historically, I've found that if you keep your big boss happy, you've got a chance of survival in life.
I agree with you. I agree.
But then again, if he's got one for Qatar or Imad Al Sagar or Prince Faisal at Newbury, and Faisal loves a bit of
Or King
Newbury,
Power.
yeah, or King Power, or probably
Or
Godolphin,
Bjorn.
Walmore and Aiden and Appleby.
Or Bjorn.
And yeah, or Bjorn Nielsen. Let's not forget about Bjorn. He's feeling a bit left out at the moment, but he'll have a whole load of Stradivarius offspring. You'll be the Stradivarius offspring jockey. Real pleasure to speak to you. I hope people have enjoyed. You have been absolutely useless for me in Racing League this time around. You probably won't turn up for
You
the.
don't need me.
I do. I need you. I've always needed you. But the thing with this is like you do your best for people. You support the people you care about in life, and eventually you realise that they don't feel the same after a while.
Matt,
It's like
you've got to get to Brighton and I've got to get to
it's
Kempton
like
and
a,
the viewers are sick
I
of Racing
can't.
League.
Ash, it's like a relationship that's gone sour. Oh, right.
We'll
Look, have a
we'll
great
we'll
York.
discuss
Just
it.
finally that
Relationship
good thing at
counsellors.
York. That good thing.
It's the Space Blues 2-year-old on Thursday, trained by Andrew, owned by Royal Ascot Racing Club.
Okay, Royal Ascot Racing Club in the Lowther, is that?
No, no, he's in the nursery.
Okay, in the nursery. I'm going to find that for people right now. Although it's not the easiest thing to time. Here we go. I think I've got the nursery. 7 furlongs. Ushie Murphy, Stellar Sunrise
Stellar
is
Sunrise.
Stellar Sunrise had 3 runs so far, was a winner last time, and Murphy says will be winning at 4:45 on Thursday afternoon.
Please God.
Oisín, have a great week. You are the champion, and thanks for joining us. And just remember, everyone, if you want to go to Goodwood, thanks to Sports for Causes, get on the website. And remember, if you want to go racing around the world, then this is the place to do it with Racing Breaks. If you want to go to experience something like the Breeders' Cup, get on to Racing Breaks and they will take you to the best meetings around the planet. Thanks for listening, everyone. Hope you've enjoyed it. It's me over and out, and Ushie Murphy, the champion jockey who doesn't turn up for the Racing League, over and out.